about your TWTA, traveling wave tube amplifier. We will learn. Earlier we have seen that a two cavity klystron and a micro reflex klystron that we have learned. In a klystron, there is a resonance structure. That cavity is there. Now here we have a non-resonance structure that is called as a helix. Okay, so that's why some books they are saying that helix traveling wave tube, or we can say right now we say that helix traveling wave tube amplifier. This is used as a amplifier, not as a oscillator. Now reflex klystron used as a oscillator. Two cavity klystron is used as amplifier. Now here a traveling wave tube amplifier is used as a amplifier here. Now there are different ways to generate that amplification. So what type of magnets are used to focus your electron there? So that's why whether it is a permanent magnet or whatever the slot or whatever the types of magnets we are using, according to that your output is increased or a decrease here. So now then output increases. So, but again one thing happen, there may be a loss again. Okay, and there are the limitations regarding the bandwidth because of that magnet channel. Because resonant frequency changes, so that's why there is again a difference in the bandwidth, operating bandwidth. So output and operating bandwidth, everything is depending upon that what type of structures we are using. So we can increase the amplification by using the non-resonant structure, that is helix here, and based on that we can work out on this. Okay, tube here. Okay, so we can say that that is about this helix structure is called as a slow wave structure. Okay, so we can say that in a traveling wave tube amplifier there is a cathode, it emits. Okay, or we can say that cathode, or we can say that a heater here. So you can it emits that electrons here. That's about the cathode. Then your electrons is propagating likewise. Yeah, it's propagating, and at the end there is a collector. Okay, at the end this is called as a collector. It will be collected at the collector. Then uh, we require a helix here. We will use the helix because we are providing that RF input, because it is used as the amplification here. We can consider that the RF input. So we have a helix here. Okay. So then you are comfortable. That is your electrons is to be propagating through this helix there. Okay. And this is nothing but your RF output. That RF output, we say that it is about the amplifying one. So this one is about a tube body. We can consider that. And we can use that focusing magnet here. Okay, as well. You can consider that a focusing magnet as well here. This is nothing but we can say that's about a focusing magnet. It's about the structure or construction of helix. You can say that's about a RF input. So then it has a control anode, or we can say that is about a lead anode. So we can say that is about a control anode. Okay, this one is about your control anode that is placed nearby, and then we can say that that control anode is used to whatever we can say that is about for the gain or a modulation of the control voltage. Okay, that is about your control anode. then we can consider that that is to be used. Okay, so this one is about we can consider that the supply and all. Okay, so likewise that is to be used for the gain modulation. So we can consider that is to be collected at the collector here. So electrons are collected at the collector. This one is about your collector supply. And this is about your we can say that. And then we use that here that beam voltage that is be applied, or you can say that we can have a beam supply. Then we can use that over current relay. This one is about your helix traveling tube. So this one is about your electron. This electron is focused, that is propagating through the helical structure. Okay, it is propagating through the helical structure. Helical structure, you just remember that if you have a spring at home, you consider that okay, through that spring, okay, whatever we have a spring there, through that spring, okay, so that is propagating. Likewise, so now our pen is here. If I supposed to move it, okay, this one is about nothing but what we can say that this one is now nothing but your cathode, and this one is nothing but a helical structure. This one is about your okay, so we just consider that this way, and we can work out. So this is about your electrons is propagating through this. This is about your dotted line, that is nothing but electrons. That electrons are propagating through the what we can say that is about the helical tube. So now if you see that here is your RF field, here we are taking the RF output. That is about the interaction of your RF field. Okay, interaction of your electron beam and the RF field. This is about your RF field is propagating. And again, here some attenuators are placed here. You can say that at this particular place, attenuators are used. That attenuators are used to attenuate your amplification, or we can say that whatever the signals amplified, that the RF input we are providing, that will be amplified because electrons interacted with the RF field. Now, how that electrons are interacted with the RF field? So before that, we need to learn about what will be our helix traveling wave tube structure. This one is about helix. Okay, this is about a slow wave structure. This is about the interaction region. Now, if you consider that a klystron, it has a two cavity, or if it has a reflex klystron, only single cavity. So interaction of that RF field, okay, if you see that interaction of the RF field, that region is a small in a klystron, but interaction here, if you consider that, it is about a large. Okay, so we think you can say that interaction of that electron beam and that RF field is large there because it is continuous over that particular helix structure. That is about a particular helix length there. Okay, so that is about the main thing is about your wave here, because RF is propagating throughout this helix. This is about helix structure. RF signal is propagating through this helix there, and they are getting the energy from this electron, because that interaction of that electrons, they provide the energy to the RF field, and because of that, so RF field is increased. That RF amplification is takes place because electrons provide their energy to the RF field, so that's why amplification takes place. Your signal amplified here throughout this helix. Again, attenuator is placed here. Okay, attenuation takes place, and then again it is the same signal is propagating throughout this helix, and then we'll get that amplification. Why this attenuator is used? Because supposed to be at the output end, suppose some cavity or something is not matched, then reflected signal come back to this helix there at this particular place, and then the same signal will again propagating through this helix, and they will amplify it. So if we are not using alternator there, so signal will be get amplified. Whatever the reflected signal is there, they will get amplified. So your output will consist of a noise there. So to avoid it, so we can use that only a single helix structure there. Okay, that alternator and a helix structure there. Okay, so that's why we can say that attenuators are used in this particular cavity of klystron there. So now we can consider that there are the types of helix. Okay, so we can say that that is whatever the we can say structure, slow wave structure. This is called as helix is nothing but a slow wave structure. So why it is called as a slow wave structure? Because electron beam, okay, that is propagating through this. So it has a different because velocity of that whatever the light is there, and because the same RF signal is propagating through the helix, it is about that we can say that is about a low velocity. Okay, so that's why we can say that is about a slow wave structure. That is about velocity of this electron. Okay, and again, if you see that here we have this RF field, and this is about the electron velocity. So velocity of that electron and velocity of this RF field, if you consider that velocity of that RF signal, they should have to be matched there, or velocity of that electron propagating through this cathode, it has to be large as compared to this particular velocity. Then and then interaction with the field is takes place. Otherwise, what will happen? So then what happen? That interaction with the RF field will not be taken. Okay, so that is about your. We can say that a is Haley structure, or we can say that is about the slow wave structure. So electron is propagating through this means this is about your electric field. Okay, that is about your axial. We can say that is about the electron are propagating through this means we can say that is about the this one is about your electric field. Okay, through this. And again, if you see that these are the focusing magnets used. So focusing magnets they are providing the RF that magnetic field in axial position there. Okay, whatever the focusing magnets are there, they are providing that field is in axial position. And electron that RF field here we can say that it's about electric field that both the fields are in linear one. So that's why we can say that it's about the linear beam tube. Okay, or we can say that it's about the O type tube. So this one we can consider that we have a electric that axial electric field, and they are progressing that's about the axial electric field, and their velocity is close to that, it is depending upon that velocity of that it depending upon the whatever the helix is there. Okay, so helix means what, whatever the helix ratio, and or we can say that is about the ratio of the helix pitch to the helix circumference. Helix pitch to the helix circumference means what, we have a helix there. Okay, so now we can consider that a helix here. Generally the helix is likewise, we can consider that we have helix structure likewise. This is about your helix tube. Okay. Now this one is about helix tube. Your electron is propagating. That is about through the center of this particular helix. And this is nothing but what we can say that is about a circumference of helix. Okay. So this one we can say that is about a total completely one circumference of that helix. And if you consider this one, this length is nothing but the diameter of the helix. D is nothing but the diameter of that helix. And that pitch is nothing but what? Here, that helix changes here. Okay. So this is called as a pitch here. This one is called as a pitch. And that pitch, this one is about your pitch, suppose we can consider. And this one is about your diameter. Okay. So we can consider that this one is about your pitch. And we can say having one particular rotation. So that's why we can say pi d here. And this is nothing but what we can have p square plus pi d square. Okay, that is about your expressions for what? Whatever the one turn of a helix. This one is about a one turn of a helix. So we can find out this angle is called as a psi, or we can say that this angle is called as a psi is nothing but a pitch angle. This is called as a pitch angle. Okay, so we can say that psi is a pitch angle, And if you consider this, okay, if you consider that this one, so what happened here that psi is nothing but what we can say that is about a pitch angle. Now the phase velocity of the whatever the we can consider that the axial direction, that is okay. So it is depending upon that what will be your pitch and what will be the that circumference, that ratio. Okay, so p square plus y d. So there is nothing but whatever we have a helical coil, and that helical coil, the phase velocity in the axial direction is about your x. This is for the given helix. So phase velocity in the axial direction. And so we consider that for the given helix, okay, we consider that for a given helix, what will be the pitch here and what will be the particular structure. So this one, if you consider that the ratio of whatever the phase velocity along with the pitch, okay, along with the pitch to the phase velocity of the coil, so that will provide us a whatever the that pitch angle here. We can consider that we have a ratio of phase velocity to the phase velocity of the velocity along the coil. That is nothing but what we can say, that's about p square plus y bracket square. Okay, is nothing but what is sine of that's about the pitch angle. Now the slow structure is nothing but a it is nothing but whatever the it's nothing but a conducting cylinder here. Okay, whatever the slow structure is nothing but a conducting cylinder. And that is used, that flow structures are used generally in a microtube to reduce the wave velocity, because your wave is propagating through this helix there, so that's why it is called as a slow wave structure. So it reduces the velocity of the wave. Otherwise what will happen if it is propagating directly, the velocity of wave is more there, but it is propagating through this particular tube, so that's why the velocity of this particular signal, okay, velocity of the wave is reduces because of that slow wave structure. And then again what happen, signals are propagating or directing in this particular direction. So for the given particular helical tube, okay, here the RF field here means your it has the velocity, it reduces here. Okay, this one is, and then we are getting that RF output here. Now generally what happened there, that electron interaction takes place in this particular region here. Interaction with the electron and this RF is takes place in this particular region, and then electron will be collected at the collector. Before that, what happened? Those electron propagating in that retarding field, okay, that will be accelerated with that is about accelerating field and decelerating field. Okay, so we'll go ahead again. Okay, so that is again, that is how that acceleration and deceleration of this particular is takes place. Okay, so there are the various types of a slow wave structure. Really various types of a slow wave structures are what? One is about a helix, this one is about a helix, this is called as helix. Another one is about a folded backline. So this one is about your folded backline structure. This one is about a folded backline structure. Okay, likewise, this one is about your folded backline structure. Or we can say that is about a zigzag line. This one is about a zigzag line structure there. Or we can say that interdigital line. Another structure is about a interdigital line. Okay, this is called as the interdigital line. Or another is about a corrugated waveguide. What your waveguide supposed to be considered here? Okay, this is called as what we can say that is about the we have earlier helical structure. We can consider that this one is about a folded back line. Then this one is about a zigzag line. We can say that interdigital line. We can say that is about a corrugated waveguide. These are the types of the helical structure. Okay, these are the type of a slow wave structure. These are the various types of a slow wave structure. So in that case, what happen if we increase the operating frequency, then inductance and capacitance of this particular resonance structure must be decreased in order to maintain the resonance at the operating frequency there. And there are the again the what happened there the limitations about the gain bandwidth product. Okay, gain bandwidth product is limited by the resonance circuit. So that's why we can say that we can consider that a several non-resonant periodic structure. These are nothing but a several non-resonant periodic structures or slow structures are used in the case of a traveling wave tube amplifier. And in the case of a that two cavity klystron, these are the resonance structure, and they have the limitations regarding that inductance and a capacitance increases of this particular resonance. So how it is? So we have seen that a cavity earlier. So this cavity is nothing but likewise. So in between this, there is a capacitor, and for each and every cavity, so this is about your conducting one. So there will be an inductor. So means your equivalent circuit for this cavity is looks like that is about a tune circuit is about one having a capacitor inductor along with this conduct cavity there, and in between this mouth of this particular cavity there will be a capacitor. That is about a tune circuit. So now because of this, what happened? So there are the limitations regarding that operating frequency because this L and C will be increases at the higher frequency. So that's why in a two cavity klystron, the limitations are regarding that cavity there regarding the operating frequency, and again they have the limitations for the gain bandwidth product because of that resonance structure. But in the case of a slow wave structure that is about a non-resonance structure, what will happen? It will produces a large gain over a wide bandwidth. So that's why TWT is used for the wideband application, for a wideband application or a or whatever the wideband area. So generally, okay, TWTs are used above that 3 gigahertz, or we can say that is about a higher one. It will be used about the 3 gigahertz or a higher, and a bandwidth is about what we can say that is about a zero point 0.8 gigahertz because of that higher operating frequency, and efficiency is about what 20 to 40% efficiency there, and power output large power output there is equal to what up to a 10 kW maximum up to a 10 kilowatt. That is about we can say that is about the average power, and that gain power gain that is up to 60 dB. Okay, that is about the power gain is up to 60 dB. That is to be used. So that is about the we can consider that we can say that is lower structure, and generally people are using that a helix. Okay, here in traveling wave tube amplifier helix is used. So that's why we can say that a axial electric field, we have axial electric field progress with the velocity that are very close to the velocity of light. Okay, that will be multiplied by the ratio of the helix pitch. This is about the ratio of the helix pitch to the helix circumference. Okay, ratio of the helix pitch to the helix circumference. When the electron enter to the helix tube, okay, so what happened there when it will enter to the electron enters to this particular tube there? What happened that acceleration and again a deceleration takes place. That is about this, and due to that, here the that electron punches takes place and they provide the energy to the RF field there. So generally here what happened that interaction of the electron takes place with the field, but here that RF field is moving here. That's why we can say that about the here we can say that your field is about, we can say that's about the moving axial electric field and the moving axial electron. Okay, moving axial electric field and a moving axial, and that interaction takes place in this particular region. Now if this helix, okay, if this helix, the drawback is what? If this circumference is small, okay, if the circumference is small, then whether whatever the electron are propagating through this, okay, so then they are getting the small region. Okay, so that's why the drawback is what? We need to increase the diameter. But again, if we increase the diameter, so then what happen? To focus the electron in the axial position is difficult. So that's why that focusing magnets are used to focus the electron in the axial position. Okay, so that is about, we can say that uh, wherever the electron entering in this particular field there, and that they are acceleration or deceleration takes place based on this particular RF field there. Now, when electrons enter through the helix here, okay, what happened there through the helix? If that whatever the RF field is there, again, okay, that is about the interaction of the whatever the electrons we have. Okay, so generally we can consider that interaction of the electron is to be takes place there in the positive field and the, whatever the field we have. Okay, so now it is, if supposed to be, it is what happened here, that electron interaction takes place. So this is about, we can say that is about, we can have electron beam now. This is about your electron beam, and this one is about your field. And this is about your electron. That is the direction of this particular electron. And this is called as, we can say that's about a retarding field. And due to this retarding field, what happens? That electron provide the energy to the RF field there. So that's why the amplification takes place. And this one is called as the retarding force. It's called as retarding force. This one is about your accelerating field. And this is called as the accelerating force. Now, what happened here when the electron enters? Okay, when the electron enters in the particular field, okay, so interaction of that electron takes place through this particular tube here. So, if it is in the, this is about the zero position. Okay, that is about electron entering in this particular helix at the zero field. This is about a zero field. Then what happens? That electrons will not affected by the whatever the signal propagating through this particular helix. But if the electron entering, okay, at the whatever the accelerating field, it's about acceleration. Then what happened? That these are those electrons, okay, entering in the accelerating field, they will be accelerated, and these electrons are entering in the retarding field are decelerated here. So that's why, because of that acceleration and deceleration of the electrons will move slower, okay, or some of the electrons will move faster, and because of that slower and faster electron, they provide the bunching there. And that bunches of the electron takes place, that bunches at the end releases the energy to the RF field, and that bunches will be collected at the collector. So that electrons, because here this one is about electrons here, electrons entering to this particular field. So this is about your RF field. Okay, because of that, what happens in the accelerating field and decelerating field, they will form the bunches, they will release the energy to the every helix. So that's why So for example, supposed to be I redraw again. I'll just, here, if I draw here the signal now, our signal get amplified here, like at this particular case, signal get amplified. Or let's consider now again here. For example, I'll redraw again. This is about your helix. Now what happened here? When your signal is propagating, likewise, it will be amplified. So means when it is moving through this particular helix, they get amplified. And at the end, we have the collector here. At the end, we have a collector. So that collector, what happened to the collector? Collector those electrons. Okay, collector collect those electrons that collected at the collector there. So we can just consider that at the accelerating field, electrons entering the accelerating field, those are accelerated. Electron entering in the whatever we can say that's about the retarding field are decelerated. That is about retarding field and the accelerating field. Okay, that is about the R retarding. So electron travel okay through this particular helix here. So that's why we can say that about the electrons are traveling through this helix and they form the bunches and they will be collected at the collector there. And due to this bunching, that phase shift will be changes to the pi by 2. So whatever the electrons providing these bunches and they encounters to a stronger retarding field. And because of that they encounter to the stronger that retarding field, the micro energy is delivered, or we can say that bunches deliver that whatever the field to the whatever the energy to the RF field there. And that is about we can say that a bunches deliver the energy to the helix, and that's why the amplification of the signal takes place. For each and every step, amplification takes place. At the end, your signal will be higher, amplification higher. Then attenuation there. Why attenuators are used? Because some of the signal will be reflected back, they will come here, and they will be reflected back here. So to avoid it, attenuators are used. So we can consider that there are the various okay instead of that particular slow wave structure, so we can use the various type of slow wave structure. So generally what happened that the phase velocity of that wave okay propagating in any waveguide is greater than the velocity of a light in a medium there. But what happened here in this particular traveling wave tube amplifier, so that phase velocity is reduced because of the because of the signal propagating through this particular helix. Okay, so just you remember that the whatever the electrons are there that due to that through whatever the propagating through this particular slow wave structure, that phase velocity of that particular signal okay whatever the propagating through this will be changes. Okay, so that is about what you can say that is about a slow wave structure. The electrons will be accelerated, and because of that velocity of this particular signal changes there, and that whatever the velocity of this particular light and that acceleration of that electron is with the same there okay through that particular interaction region. So that is about your what you can say that is about the helix slow wave structure. Okay, so now we just consider that what happened to this particular field while accelerating. Now, generally, we can say that this one is about your, we can provide, okay, here we can provide that beam supply to the cathode. That is, we can say that is about the velocity of the electron we are getting based on that, whatever the beam supply there, or we can say that is about the DC velocity of the electron. And that DC velocity of the electron, which is slightly greater than that, whatever the axial wave. Because this one is about a wave is propagating through this axis, so that's why that velocity of that electron is to be higher than that axial wave. So that's why the more electrons okay when will that more electrons will be in the retarding field, okay, more electrons will be in the retarding field than the accelerating field. Okay, so that's why, and okay, because of that a great amount of the whatever the energy is transferred, or we can say that more energy will be transferred to the RF field there. And that's why the amplification takes place. So because of that electron provide the energy, okay, that electron provide the energy to this RF field. So that's why the amplification takes place. So to get the more energy, okay, larger energy, or we can say that about the larger amplification, okay, so we can use the length of this helix to be more there. Generally what happened that at the end, at this particular end of this helix, there will be larger amplification. Slowly amplification started. They provide the bunches, whatever the electrons are there, they provide the energy to this wave. So your amplification of this particular wave is takes place. And slowly, what happened there, that is about the large amount of the amplification is takes place there. So that's why we can consider that electron is to be focused through this helix there. So to focus the electron through the axis or the same helix, so focusing magnets are used because these magnets provide that field so that electron will not be spread anywhere in this particular region. They will be focused or they will be traveled down to the through this particular helix tube there. So that's why a focusing magnets are used. Okay, focusing magnets are used to focus the electron to propagate or move through this particular center of this particular helical tube here. Okay, so just this that is about, we can say that's about it. We can have that electron there, that is to be taken. Okay, so, that is about all about, we can have the interaction of that electrons and interaction of this particular tube takes place in this particular thing here. Okay, so we can consider that all the portions here right now. We have consider if you have any questions there or regarding this particular helical tube. Just like you just remember that what happened in this particular interaction there. What happened here? You just remember here a RF signal is propagating through it. Okay, this one is about your RF signal is propagating through it, and then that interaction takes place in this particular region. Okay, interaction takes place in this particular region. So that's why that is about your RF field will be get amplified. Are you getting? Here we can say that electron propagating through this helical structure. We have a RF wave is there, and that RF wave get amplified because of that electrons will be accelerating and decelerating. So electrons will be entering the retarding field, that will be decelerated, and here we can say that electron entering in the retarding field, they will be decelerated, and those electrons will be propagating in the accelerating field, they are accelerated here. And that's why that acceleration of that electrons and deceleration of electrons, they provide the bunches of that electron. That bunches at the center of the helix. Bunches will be takes place at the center of that helix there, and that those whatever the bunches are provided that helix during the whatever the zero field there. Okay. Zero field means what? This one is about a zero field. You can say that is about the bunches of this particular electron takes place. Likewise, just like we have seen earlier, okay, same thing we have seen earlier in a whatever we have considered earlier that a portion of what we that in a two cavity crystal. Okay, same thing is applicable here. That is about the bunches. Uh, a two cavity crystal. Okay, so we can consider that about a two cavity crystal, and here we can say that whatever the motion of the electrons is takes place through this particular tube here. Okay, so we have that whatever the helix tube that will be analyzed in terms of a axial whatever the electric field there. This is about your electric field. And this is about a direction of the propagation of wave. If the wave is propagating in the z direction, we can analyze that electric field, or we can analyze in terms of that magnetic that field there. So what we can say that we can write that electric field is nothing but Ez is equal to E1 of what is sine of omega t minus beta p psi, and that's about, we can say that's about the field, and this one is about the magnitude of the electric field, and wave is propagating in the z direction. So we can find out, so the term that how that amplification is takes place, and what will be the that interaction of that